Let us enter into worship with the words of Elizabeth Tarbox. And so I say, ours is a story of faith and hope and love. I say it is our need for one another that binds us together, that brings us laughing and limping into relationships, and keeps us at it when we otherwise might despair at the fix we are in. I say it is the holy we need, the eternal beyond our comprehension. And the one place we can find it is here, working and worshiping together. And I say there is a transcendent value worthy of our loyalty, upon which we may set our hearts, and its divine manifestation is love. Come, let us worship together. I invite you to rise in body or in spirit. Spirit to join our voices in our opening hymn, Guide My Feet, number 348 in the Gray Hymnal.
By Reverend Michelle Collins. This flame is for the questions that follow us home, the ones that refuse to settle, that sit beside us at night. Not every riddle is meant to be solved. Let this light keep open space where not knowing is allowed to breathe.
I invite you to gather round as we hear a special tale called Maybe Something Beautiful, How Arts Transformed the Neighborhood, by F. Isabel Campoy and Teresa Howell, illustrated by Rafael Lopez. Welcome, I'll start. In the heart of a gray city, there lived a girl who loved to doodle, draw, color, and paint. Every time she saw a blank piece of paper, Mira thought to herself, maybe. And because of this, her room was filled with color, and her heart was filled with joy. On her way to school one day, Mira gave a round apple to Mr. Henry, the owner of the shop down the street. She gave a flower to Ms. Lopez, the lady with the sparkling eyes. She gave a songbird to Mr. Sachs and a red heart to the policeman who walked up and down the streets. On her way home, Mira taped a glowing sun onto the wall, hiding in the shadows. Her city was less gray, but not much. The next day, Mira saw a man with a pocket full of paintbrushes. He gazed at the wall. He looked at the sun. He held his fingers in a square and peered through them. He said thoughtfully. What do you see? Mira asked. Maybe something beautiful, the man replied. Just like that, he dipped his brush in the paint. Bam! Pow! The shadows scurried away. Sky blue cut through the gloom. The man's laughter was like a rainbow, spreading across the sky. Who are you? Mira asked. I'm an artist, he said. A muralist. I paint on walls. I'm an artist too, she told him. He handed Mira a brush. Then come on. Mira dipped it in the loudest color she saw. Yowee! The wall lit up like sunshine. As the man drew pictures on the bricks, Mira added color, punch, and pizzazz. Soon Mr. Sachs joined in. Then others came. Everyone painted to the rhythm. Salsa, merengue, bop. Even Mira's mama painted and danced the cha-cha-cha. The whole neighborhood became a giant block party until the policeman walked up. Excuse me, he said. The music stopped. Mira put her brush down. They were surely in trouble. The officer cleared his throat, then paused. May I paint with you? He asked. So Mira handed him a paintbrush, and the music started again. Teachers and papas jumped in, babies too. Mira and the man handed out brush after brush. Color spread throughout the streets. So did joy. Wherever Mira and the man went, art followed like the string of a kite. After they colored the walls, they painted utility boxes and benches. They decorated sidewalks with poetry and shine. And everyone danced. Together, they created something more beautiful than they had ever imagined. When their clothes were splattered with a million colors, everyone sat down to rest, except the muralist. His eyes sparkled. You, my friends, are all artists, he told them. The world is your canvas. He smiled wide, then pulled everything together in big, sweeping motions. His paintbrush was like a magic wand. When he was finished, Mira added one more bird, way up in the sky. Maybe, she thought, just maybe. Thanks for listening. Please remain seated for our prayer hymn, number 352 in the gray hymnal, Find a Stillness. the silence that follows the spoken prayer, you are invited to come forward and light a candle for any joys or concerns you hold in your heart this morning. Spirit of life, we hold in prayer our beloved Ron and Rosemary. Last Sunday, Ron was admitted to the emergency room. He is now recovering at home under the care of his doctors. In this moment, may we surround Ron and Rosemary with prayers of healing, patience, and peace as Ron continues to heal. May we hold dear Marion in a loving embrace as she returned to the hospital last Thursday with shortness of breath. Spirit of love, may Marion know comfort and peace of spirit as she continues to traverse this difficult journey. We offer our prayers for healing, strength, and renewed wellness. Spirit of love and life, source of all that is. In these days of lament and these days of rejoicing, may we enter into the sacred practice of curiosity, allowing it to guide us towards lives of meaning, compassion, and faith. May Spirit lead us deeper into the question, why? As this broken and sacred world continues to transform. We come here with questions to ask, not how much or what, but why do we do this? To what purpose? Questions that bind us more deeply to the web of humanity. And as our questions draw forth beauty and truth, may we witness transformation, beauty emerging from what was broken, hope arising from loss, joy overcoming despair, peace releasing fear, and compassion growing from lament, as the promise of a more hopeful future draws near. As we settle into curiosity, as we imagine the possibility of all that can be, may we lift the veil of injustice, remove the shadow of inequity, and open wide the door to creativity. Together, may we continue to ask, what is possible? And in asking, may we imagine a world transformed, releasing the laments of yesterday and reaching towards the hopes of tomorrow. May we help create a world shaped by greater peace, enduring compassion, steadfast faith, and lasting justice, all nurtured by a spirit of wonder and grounded in the practice of curiosity. May it be so, and amen. I light a candle for the joys and concerns of those beloveds joining us virtually. And I light a candle for all else that we hold in our hearts and our minds this morning. If your heart is hurting, know that your community is here to help, as am I. Please reach out with any needs.
Our invitation to the offering is called All Voices by Joe Von Root. In our world, many voices are silenced. Many truths remain unspoken because the speaker fears rejection, judgment, or worse. Our financial offerings today help sustain this congregation as a place where all voices can be heard, where truth can be spoken without fear, where vulnerability is met with compassion. We give in gratitude for this beloved community and with hope for a world where more voices can speak their truth. For those of you watching the service online, you may contribute to a virtual offering plate using the donate button on our website or by mailing a check to the church office. I invite the ushers forward to receive the offering. For all that you give and all that you do, for our church and its wider concerns, we give thanks. In the words of Ian Leslie, our oldest stories about curiosity are warnings. Adam and Eve and the apple of knowledge, Icarus and the sun, Pandora's box. Early Christian theologians railed against curiosity. St. Augustine claimed that God fashioned hell for the inquisitive. Even humanist philosopher Erasmus suggested that curiosity was greed by a different name. For most of Western history, it has been regarded as at best a distraction, at worst a poison, corrosive to the soul and to society. There's a reason for this. Curiosity is unruly. It doesn't like rules, or at least it assumes that rules are provisional, subject to the laceration of a smart question nobody has yet thought to ask. It disdains the approved pathways, preferring diversions, unplanned excursions, impulsive left turns. In short, curiosity is deviant. Pursuing it is liable to bring you into conflict with authority at some point. Here's a quote by James Baldwin. Not everything that is faced can be changed, but nothing can be changed until it is faced. I invite you to rise in body or spirit to join our voices in hymn 122, Sound Over All Waters.
Maybe something beautiful, spoke the muralist. Maybe something beautiful. Imagine dreary homes and infrastructure tucked away in a neighborhood in San Diego, beautified by murals. Our story for all ages this morning centered around the true story of artist Rafael Lopez and community organizer Candace Lopez. A married couple transforming a lifeless neighborhood draped in shades of gray into an array of deep reds, vibrant pinks, and subtle blues. Art transformed a community, not only in beauty, but also in joy, companionship, and creativity. Together, the couple helped create the urban art trail in San Diego's East Village. Met with a curious hardship, met with a curious and hopeful question: what could be? Further still, what do you see? The young protagonist in this tale responds to these queries with imagination and hope, imagining dancing and color and music and abundance where others saw decay. The creators wanted to highlight that all communities contain within them creativity and resilience. Transformation need not begin with anything profound. Sometimes it's one or two people imagining that life does not need to be dreary and gray. Beauty in and of itself can be justice and radical transformation. This story begins with curiosity, with the courage to ask what else might be possible. A curiosity that blossoms and blooms, transforming what was once neglected into something beautiful, vibrant, and full of life. During my first year of seminary, professors and administrators led my cohort through the streets of Chicago, familiarizing students with various cultures, communities, and beliefs. One visit, in particular, has remained with me. The bus dropped us off in a gray area lined with cracked sidewalks and damaged roads. Yet, those surroundings were not where our attention was drawn. Before us stood land which had at one point been an abandoned lot. Yet, we witnessed transformation. In a place of neglect stood a flourishing garden, flowers meant to inspire beauty, pink tulips and red roses blooming, alongside fruits and vegetables to nourish the community. People came together to create beauty, companionship and dignity, and much needed fresh sustenance. Maybe something beautiful was the refrain. Through the power of enduring curiosity, a belief that something greater can emerge, both the land and the blessed community were transformed. Curiosity carries with it great power. It has the ability to transform a broken society into something beautiful, highlighting the creativity and resilience that underlies any community. Curiosity is disruptive. It refuses to accept the world as fixed and unchangeable. Through the questions we ask and the truth we seek, injustices are uncovered, assumptions are challenged, and new possibilities emerge. Through curiosity, there is a transformative vision for what society can become. Through these practices, our world grows more creative, liberatory, compassionate, and equitable. So what can curiosity create? What does it mean? Ordained Buddhist nun Pema Chodron writes, compassion is not a relationship between the healer and the wounded. It's a relationship between equals. Curiosity leads to compassion. We are part of a shared humanity where each of us carries wounds and is in need of healing. Yet we need to understand this at a deeper level. It is not saved versus saving, nor healer versus healed. It is not privileged versus marginalized. It is care and empathy shared between equals. Curiosity allows us to move beyond these false divisions towards a deeper recognition of our shared humanity. It is care and empathy extended within communities and across communities alike. Author Ian Leslie invites us to think of curiosity historically. He writes, "Your oldest stories of curiosity are warnings." Ancient religious and mythological narratives often explore the dangers of unchecked curiosity. Consider the biblical story of Adam and Eve, the first humans in the Bible residing together in the Garden of Eden, bound closely to God. Tempted by a serpent, they disobey God and ate from the forbidden tree of the knowledge of good and evil. Through the story, though the story ultimately gestures towards sacred and enduring faith and redemption, their actions introduce sin and suffering into the world. A similar theme appears in the Greek myth of Pandora's box. Pandora, acting through her enduring sense of curiosity, opened a forbidden box which released sickness, sorrow, and suffering into this finite world. Hope remained, but the story still frames curiosity as something capable of bringing harm alongside possibility. So, we have an ancient warning against curiosity. How is this portrayed today? Author Ian Leslie elaborates, often depicted as a distraction, a poison, or a corroding of the soul, curiosity has long been understood as something to be condemned and avoided. Why is this? Because curiosity is unruly. Leslie identifies two elements of curiosity that many contemporary leaders adamantly oppose. One, curiosity challenges the rules. A curious mind disrupts the certainties we have come to expect. It assumes that every rule can be changed and revised to meet the needs of today. Two, it opposes the status quo. It embraces diversions and examines the unplanned. It goes left when the rest of the world goes right. Journalist Krista Tippett notes that our reality is shaped by the questions we ask, by the ways we engage with curiosity. We are called to be aware of questions born of centuries of capitalism. These questions do not help us imagine or understand a world that needs to be remade. Instead, the questions are blunt, they are materialistic, they are transactional. What, we ask, how soon, how much? What does Tippett invite us to do instead? To become curious about our questions. She offers the inquiries. Why do we ask this? To what purpose? She invites us to ask questions rooted in our moral imagination, that which recognizes everyone's humanity, experiences, and possibilities. Curiosity, moral imagination, questions how and why the world is what it is, and questions whether it needs to remain as such. We are called to focus on lived human experiences, social, moral. Questions such as why and to what human effect and how much is enough deepen our understanding of humanity, moral goodness, and meaning-making. Questions make a difference. So what are the responsibilities of those who keep society informed? Journalists writing of political injustice, activists leading us in the streets, religious leaders speaking theology to those asleep. In order to be ethically responsible, they must become voices of a shared truth. And in this search for truth and meaning, curiosity is key. For again, it is the questions we ask that elicit honest truth-telling from those who lead us. Leaders encounter a situation with the following questions. What truly happened? Why did this happen? Who benefits from the consequences? What can we be ignoring? Who are we ignoring? And why? Curiosity fuels true and enduring leadership. We expect curiosity from our leaders that calls for a deep and abiding truth. It deepens understanding and expands collective knowledge. Our nation becomes more informed and compassionate. Curiosity uncovers the realities society so often ignores. So often we center and prioritize the voices of the privileged. It is time to shift our focus and ask instead, who among us is being harmed? The marginalized are outcast and ignored. Curiosity illuminates these experiences. It seeks out stories of the lived reality of hidden people whose suffering is so easily overlooked. Society needs to know these authentic woes in order to make true and lasting change based on justice and empathy. With a mindset of curiosity, we ask those voices whose voices need to be lifted up and heard, the unhoused, the addicted. By centering the broken and the marginalized, society can take one small step at a time to imagine and create a more equitable and inclusive world. Together, we paint the dreary gray walls into vibrant reds, shaded greens, and softened blues. Furthermore, curiosity serves to overpower judgment and condemnation. Too often we observe an individual, often a stranger, and make uninformed assumptions and beliefs based solely upon what we can observe. Clothing, skin color, demeanor. These assumptions only serve to create deeper division, prevailing prejudice, and profound stigma. Instead, curiosity invites us to return to a mindset of understanding. Beneath assumptions, whether formed through visual cues or perceived behavior, we choose curiosity instead. What lived experiences shaped this person's behavior? What is hidden below the surface, arising as anger or fear? What pain are they carrying? What can they not express? In eliciting a deeper understanding, we better know a person's truth. By inviting others to share their experiences, we come to recognize another's lived reality with compassion and a sense of shared humanity. Curiosity also challenges assumptions. Who is in power and why? Who is in the margins and why? Social movements begin when people question hierarchies, rules, and norms that have been understood as truth. Curiosity challenges systems of injustice. Society questioned the structure of patriarchy, so the suffragists fought for women's rights. Society fought to confront segregation and racial hierarchies, and the civil rights movement was born. People saw atrocities behind bars, asking questions about dignity and suffering. So prison reform fought for basic rights for the incarcerated. In James Baldwin's essay collection, The Fire Next Time, he writes, quote, "Not everything that is faced can be changed, but nothing can be changed until it is faced. Change begins when people grow curious enough to question the status quo and imagine something more just." Curiosity creates empathy as well. People truly become people through the act of storytelling. We ask about and learn of the lives of others, all of our siblings. So much suffering and resiliency can only be understood through the act of storytelling. We hear journeys that lead from middle class to poverty, woes of addiction born of prescription drugs, tale of incarceration shaped by systemic injustice and racial profiling. Through curiosity, society sees one another as people with lived experiences, struggles, and strengths. What was once assumption is replaced by first-hand knowledge and spoken truth, the elements of empathy. Perry Zurn further elaborates on these ideas of curiosity. He writes, quote, that curiosity raises its head to the sky, imagines as yet inconceivable worlds of justice and peace. Curiosity invites us to envision and imagine new and unexplored possibilities. We recognize social inequity for what it is, the privileged feasting both literally and metaphorically as the oppressed continue to starve. It calls us to imagine a seemingly inconceivable, yet possible reality, one where justice reigns and we live in a society of true and lasting peace between nations, communities, and our network of siblings within this finite world. Zun continues, offering that this curiosity is, quote, still so easily dismissed as feverish fantasies or illogical hopes. Yes, hope is so easily dismissed. So too are fantasies of transformation. Yet, these hopes are reborn, day after day, through the work of curious individuals, challenging the status quo, questioning oppression. Through curiosity, we see that a better world is possible, becoming one of justice and peace. So may curiosity prevail. May we, through this work, honor our interdependence, knowing that we are bound in an enduring web of mutuality and trust. May we know that, together, held by prevailing hope and courageous imagination, we can work to change the status quo. We work towards a common vision of justice where we no longer reside in systems of inequities and hierarchies, but in a society joined with equality, where peace and abundance prevail and we all flourish. A world where love and compassion heal what is broken and divided, transforming separation into unity and peace. Perhaps it is a fantasy, but realities are born of dreams. Perry Zurn writes that curiosity comes alive in the streets and poetry, in shared meals and political protests. For maybe, just maybe, we can create something beautiful together. Cracked, dry, vacant lots bloom with tulips and rhododendrons, creating life where there was once decay. Murals spread on the walls of abandoned buildings, transforming bare concrete into an expression of beauty. Songs fill the air with laments of the spirit. Dance frees an aching body through rhythmic movement. Poetry takes pain and makes it prose. Through curiosity and collective care, beauty emerges even within broken places. Today, we encountered the dreary and the desolate, veiled in shades of gray with color, with curiosity, creativity, and the courage to imagine a better future for all. What was ugly is transformed into wonder and awe, and what was lost is found draped in color and light. Beauty persists in this world. We create it together. You, my friends, are artists, the muralist offered the joyous town. The world is your canvas. May curiosity and the necessary transformative work it inspires prevail as we labor towards justice, compassion, and lasting change. May it be so, and amen. Please rise in body or spirit, join our voices in hymn number 1007 in the teal hymnal, There's a River Flowing in My Soul. walls, knowing that beauty will always remain. May you trust that curiosity is stronger than judgment, and that honest questions lead us closer to truth. May your convictions be greater than your anger, your compassion deeper than your fear, and your mind always open to new understandings. May you meet the world with wonder, courage, and care. May possibility guide you through each of your finite days, and may hope continue to call you towards justice, beauty, and peace. Go in curiosity, go in compassion, go in love, go in peace, and amen.
How they shine